Hello everyone. This is Dr. Tilina Surasingha. I'm an associate professor, and today I'm going to introduce you to Biology 122. So this video will go over the course syllabus. I'm going to make it very brief, and I also want to mention that I do require that you actually spend time reading the syllabus, right, very carefully. And this is posted on Blackboard already under the syllabus tag in Blackboard. So um, so I'm going to quickly go over what to expect in this course and how many exams you are going to have, how many quizzes you are going to have, right? And quickly cover the very basics of this. If anything is not clear after you read the syllabus and listen to the video, please do write to me. Because the semester goes really fast. I don't want you to miss anything or misunderstand anything. So please do write to me or drop into one of the office hours, right? Through the virtual means so that I can answer your questions. So, and I do teach two lecture sections, right? And you guys are going to belong to either section 2 or section 3, right? And I am only covering the zoology portion. My colleague Dr. Don Paget will take over the plant science portion, right? So as you can see, I introduce myself. My name is Dr. Tilina Surasingha. I have a PhD in wildlife and fisheries biology. So my research specialty, or the research that I conduct at BSU, is broadly covering the realm of wildlife ecology. And I do actually cover a whole lot of studies on aquatic systems, wetlands, and stream habitats, particularly with respect to wetland and stream restoration. In terms of the species I study amphibians and reptiles. Among reptiles, I'm overwhelmingly biased towards studying turtles, which is actually kind of cutest animal on the planet, at least to me. And if you are interested in doing wildlife research, please do talk to me because I'm in the process of recruiting new students. And in terms of the animals I study, I'm not just limited to amphibians and reptiles. That's what I have been studying in the past. But there's few studies I have done on birds, freshwater fish, and also looking forward to expand my horizons into plants. So I am a wildlife biologist broadly in training, and I'm not just limited to a few groups of organisms. So, speaking of, um, and rather than me going over my other research, this is my research website. You should go ahead and check it out. All right. So, office hours, I have intentionally placed the allocated office hours to the lecture time frame so that it doesn't overlap with anything you are doing, right? And then if you wanted to join me for office hours regardless of the specific time, that is the Zoom link you should be using. And since we are actually not meeting in person, all the lectures are going to be 100% asynchronous, meaning that I'm going to record all the lectures ahead of the time, upload it into Blackboard. So remember that this is not a difficult course. This is fun and easy. You are just learning fun stuff about animals, right? I mean, how difficult that can be, right? How come it's not going to be fun? So but if you have any questions, right, I strongly encourage that you follow my lectures on a day-to-day basis as I post them, and jump into office hours to have to tackle any questions that you have, or any additional interesting stuff you want to converse with. Just jump into my office hours, right? Or if for some weird reason that you cannot make it to office hours, email me. We'll fix an alternative time. Even in that case, you will be using that Zoom address to chat with me. Alrighty. So learning objects, it's basically we are going to study about animals, right? At least for my part, right? And then I'm also going to teach you about very basic fundamentals of evolution, and then talking about again very basic fundamentals of organismal systems, right? Related to nutrition, digestion, circulation, gaseous exchange, and homeostasis. Right, which actually is very much related to medical sciences, right, or veterinary sciences. So it's actually a good combination of stuff. Like no matter whether your preferences are towards health sciences or towards the ecological elements, this is going to be a fun course for you guys. So there's a required textbook. This textbook is nothing other than the textbook you already have purchased for your 121, right? So if you have it already purchased for that class, you are going to be fine, right? If not, you should have that textbook with you. You don't have to buy any additional material that comes with the textbook. I'm not going to give you any homework or any other assignment based off the accessory stuff that they try to sell you alongside the textbook. If it comes free, go for it. Good for you to practice and study extra material, but I am not requiring any additional material, right? And in the laboratory materials, right, we actually have this time provided the lab notebook. Sorry, we have provided the lab manual to you, and also consult your lab instructor if you need to know more information about the lab manual. Because for my lab section and for Professor Akhtar's lab section, we actually provide PDF versions of the lab to you free of charge. But there is also option of buying that lab manual from the bookshop, right? And again, for the lab material, do construct your lab instructor, right? But what you are required to have for that particular activity is a lab notebook, right? Which actually should be the compositional style basic book that where you will be doing a lab recording. For more information, please do connect to your lab instructor, right? And I do teach labs as well, and I suspect some of you are also going to be in my lab section. In that case, see you again, virtually speaking, of course. And in terms of course format, because of like I mentioned, because of the statewide pandemic response, we are not permitted to meet in person. We will only be meeting through this virtual means. So because of lack of in-person interactions, because our in-person interactions are only going to be through virtual office hours one-on-one meetings, and since all the lectures are going to be recorded to you as a recorded video through Blackboard, please pay attention to any announcements I send through Blackboard or through email, right? And I'm readily available through both of those means as well, and also through office hours, right? So keep in mind, keep your eyes peeled for emails. Don't miss them, right? Keep your eyes peeled for any Blackboard announcements. That also is going to land on your email, right? And also pay attention to the syllabus contents and its schedule. I'm trying to make the life easy for you, so I will not change the content of the syllabus unless something catastrophic happens, right? Hopefully it will not. But so be very attentive to the due dates that is in the syllabus. So how do we assess you? We are going to have several exams and one final, right? So there will be 4 exams, right? And 2 of them will be from zoology, right? And 2 of them will cover the botany component, right? And then there will be also 4 review quizzes, right? And so those 2 of the review quizzes will be from zoology, 2 of the review quizzes will be from botany. So I will give you 2 exams and 2 zoology quizzes, right? 2 zoology exams, 2 zoology quizzes. And then there will also be a towards the end of the semester a practical that actually combines both zoology all zoology components and all botany components that you cover, and you will receive those as 2 different exams. So you can actually either consider taking the zoology one first, finish it up, and then go to the botany one. So you will have 2 different sets of papers passed to you, and so collectively you will have 5 exams, right? But we will drop the lowest exam, so you will be graded only on the 4 exams that for which you earn the highest grade. The lowest grade will be dropped. And then there are lab components. Again, your lab instructor will go over them. I have listed them over here. And so since the class is virtual, right? Since office hours dropping by office hours are not mandatory, right? There will be no attendance, but do make sure that you follow lectures promptly, right? So I explain over here the details about the exam composition. Please do read it on your own. It's pretty easy to understand. Um, and the review quizzes are not pop-up, right? Like exams, review quizzes already have a scheduled time. So you know well ahead of the time what to study and when to expect that, right? Now exams and quizzes both will be open book and virtual, right? So virtual in the sense you are taking it online through Blackboard, right? And open book meaning you can actually have your lecture notes right beside you, right? Your textbook right beside you. But I strongly advise that you study ahead of the time and then take the exam, because it's extremely hard and stressful to read a question and then take the exam. No, you may want to read the questions first, keep it away, right? Go back to your textbooks, go back to your lectures, read them, and then start taking the exam. Just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, that's confusing and that's not what I recommend. So please do study ahead, right? And the way we structure the class helps you to do it in that way. And technology requirements are extreme. I do skip the lab parts because your lab instructor will go over those, right? And I'm just going to make this simpler so it's less confusing for you when you try to understand what is expected for the lecture. Technology component, of course, you need to have internet access. And you should have all basic Microsoft applications on your laptop or on your computer, because I do make my lectures in PowerPoint, right? And you will require access to other basic office applications as well. So BSU provide free of charge, like completely free of charge, provide MS Office. If you don't have Microsoft Office, for example, if you have a Mac computer, Apple computer, right? Or if you actually have like a refurbished PC laptop, well, just contact the IT services. They will install Microsoft Office for you. It's a very easy process and it is freely available for you, right? Please do not miss the opportunity when people offer things free of charge. So moving on, in terms of in terms of other technological specifications, in order to facilitate virtual meetings, I want you to install Zoom on your laptops. I believe by now you already have it, right? And then again, last but not the least, if you want all the suite of Microsoft applications, this is the link to access that. Yes, you can install it on your own, but if you are not that computer savvy, contact IT services. They will help. They will be on the top of the game. And so yeah, make sure that you actually have satisfied all of those technological requirements, right? If you don't have it, contact the IT services, right? In terms of the Zoom applications, Zoom has a free version as well as like more like kind of a business version. Both are available free of charge. The free version is free. Even the business version is free to you as long as you use the BSU email address to register for it. So install the actual app. That's better if we want to interact, share documents, share screens. You will have to have Zoom installed as an app. The browser version is not powerful enough for full integration. So course management will happen through Blackboard and email. I emphasize the need of both of them over many times already. And yes, like I mentioned, like if you need any extra help, remember the zoology portion of the course is just the first half of the semester, so things go really fast. So do contact me for any course related support. If the support is outside the course related, do contact the Academic Achievement Center if that is a need. And if you actually require any accommodation with disability, also inform me that within the first week of the class. But as I just mentioned to you, there's no timed exams, right? You are going to take your exams on your own. So if you require very specific environments to take exams, contact your disability office and I will coordinate with them if needed be. But what I'm trying to say is, um, since we are not meeting in the classroom, right, you actually have a lot of freedom to take the exam in a more stress-free environment. So there is very little you have to worry about your specific accommodation, because I am not going to restrict you, right? Unlike when we meet in person. Now, this how you take your exams, specifics regarding exams will slightly change when it comes to your botany portion, right? So please pay attention to what he communicates to you regarding his way of taking exams, right? So I kind of have a very relaxed atmosphere for you to take your exams and quizzes. If anything changes to the syllabus, I'm trying not to make any changes. If I do, I will inform you through Blackboard or through email, right? So here's the schedule, and again, I'm trying to keep it unchanged as much as possible, because that will make the life easy for all of us, right? So we starts on January 28th, right? So again, rather than meeting in person or virtually, right, that these lectures are going to be recorded and made available to you through Blackboard as a both as a PowerPoint file and as a separate recorded YouTube video of my own lecture. And also look at the things that are coming up in this orange/yellow color. Those are the quizzes and exams, right? So for example, the first quiz will cover what we finish within the first 2 weeks, right? And then so again, that quiz, the first quiz is coming up on towards the end of your second week, right? And it will be made available to you on or before February 3rd, right? And it is due on February 4th. So you have at least 24 hours, right, to take that quiz, right? So if I were you, I would be studying the first 2 days of lectures, right? First 2 weeks of lectures. And be prepared for that, right? And those quizzes and the exams are largely going to contain a lot of multiple choice questions, right? Mostly or exclusively multiple choice questions, right? So, and then again, if you look at the first exam that's coming up on February 11th, right? So that will cover what I teach you in the first 3 weeks, right? And that exam will be available to you at least by February 10th, and it is due on February 11th. And the deadline, the time is going to be a minute before the midnight. So I'm going to let you have as much time as possible in that way, right? And all the other dates I explained, right? I'm not going to go over them, and you can see that there's going to be 2 quizzes and 2 quizzes on zoo part, 2 exams on zoo part, right? And then this is the comprehensive comprehensive final exam, right? That actually has a botany part as well as a zoology part, right? And I will separately send you the zoology part, and Dr. Paget will send the botany part, right? And we combine those two to issue you a final grade. Again, you are taking total of 5 exams including the final, right? And we will drop any lower grade out of all 5, right? So if you do really well in the first 4 exams, you can screw the final, right? You can actually drop the final. You can decide not to come to the final, right? If you don't come to it, it will be a 0, and 0 will be your lowest grade, right? So and if you do very well in the first 4 exams, it's easier because the final exam is comprehensive. So it's tend to be, you have to study all the previous components for that. So studying, and preparing ahead of the time will actually save you some trouble. So that's basically it for the syllabus, and please do go over it on your own, right? And get back to me if you have any questions regarding the way we are going to handle the ecology lecture. Sorry, general biology lecture. I teach ecology too, so